Welcome back to my channel, DebtFree CF. This is the finished completed budget of August, where I'll be putting in the remaining charges, looking at how I spent the money over the month, and then making any changes that might be necessary from this month to the next month. So I've already got my August budget set up with the different categories. In the estimated column, you can see that it looked like I was going to have about just under $1,000 to go towards either savings. Usually it would go into retirement until my retirement is maxed out, but because I am in the transition of I need to replace my car that died, this would all be stuff that's essentially being cash flowed towards the purchase of a new used vehicle. So new to me used vehicle. So it's a zero-based budget in the estimated column. I don't think I actually end up with that amount, only because it's the end of the summer, so I did have classes that I needed to register for in the fall, and I didn't know exactly how many I would be registering for, so I didn't know exactly how much that would cost. So I did an estimate, but I think my actual amount charged went over the estimated amount. So that's okay. It just means that I'll end up either needing to cash flow a little bit longer on the car, or I'll need to use a little bit more out of my 8 months emergency fund, which also has a sinking fund for replacing the car. And then as soon as I've made a car purchase, if I need to re-add or continue funding my emergency fund to put it back to, personally for me, 8 months of expenses, then I'll do that. I choose to do 8 months expenses only because I am technically single, like not married, and I may have to move from time to time, especially right now. I'm kind of in limbo. I'm not sure if I'll be moving. I think I will be in the next month or two, but I'm not 100% sure. So I want to keep my savings as high as possible. So my retirement for 2018 is on hold. I'll probably come back to it in November and max it out in November and December. So for groceries, I've got a bunch of different charges. I went to a new location. Oh, why is that all kinds of... I don't like that. Why is that doing that? Weird formatting. So let me just copy this over to get the formatting, delete the value, and then I will paste in the number. Okay, there we go. So what I was saying was I found out about a new grocery mart that has international foods that I don't normally have available in the grocery store right around the corner from my house. So when I was out and doing something near the other grocer that I just found out about, I stopped in, so I actually went over budget on that, only because I didn't intend on shopping there. But food is consumable, so I'm not too worried about if I go a little bit over in my food budget. I also am enjoying the fact that I have some things that I don't normally have. So it could have been split between groceries and kind of like fun miscellaneous, but since it was consumable, I just put it in food. Then I've got the utilities all paid. Gas was a little bit more. I'm not quite sure why gas was more. I guess because I just drove more than I thought I would. I may have just filled up the vehicle more often. Then all of my other things, rent, cell phone, pet expenses towards the sinking fund, all stayed the same. Then for different health insurance stuff, appointments that I had, that equaled exactly what I thought, because I already know that ahead of time. I didn't have any other additional unexpected visits. Then I've got the car insurance that's also set up as a sinking fund. That will change when I get a different vehicle, because I'll have to register that, so the amount that I'll be paying may be different. And then the vehicle that died that is still being insured, as soon as that's either sold or junked or whatever ends up happening to it, my insurance will probably change again a little bit for that. So it's good to have the sinking fund if I need to pay all 6 months at the beginning in order to get a cheaper rate to pay lump sum rather than by month, then I will do that, even though it may affect a little bit of my emergency fund if it happens to be more than what's currently in the sinking fund. I think it is better to prepay less than to pay month to month simply because of a budgetary unexpected difference. Then I have my kind of miscellaneous category. I just arbitrarily said it might be around $350, partly because I knew I had a couple of different fun activities with admissions costs and so forth coming up, and I didn't know exactly how much I would end up using. But I then have all of the different transactions, and it turned out to be a little bit more, which I feel like is kind of the theme of this month, but I'm not super concerned. I do have the savings in the bank. I just would have preferred to be able to budget them ahead of time. So I may need to give myself a little bit more leniency in the miscellaneous category in the next few months. We'll see how that goes. And then for school, like I said, I wasn't sure exactly what the amount would be based off of the number of classes. Looks like I was about $50 off, which might be because I ended up taking one more class than over the summer, and so I may not have categorized for that. Actually, this is incorrect. There we go. And then the remaining amount, which I assumed would be a little bit lower than my estimated amount, is going towards the vehicle. So my equal budget there. So let me add that amount to the budget over here for car replacement. There we go. So my goal was to have somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 for car replacement and not to spend that much. So I do have that. I have the $5,500 minimum that I wanted in there, and I'm eyeing a vehicle that's about $4,000. So I think I'll probably end up not needing all of this, which is good. I can use it as a maintenance sinking fund. So if anything needs maintenance on the vehicle right away, or I can use it towards kind of covering a little bit of the overspending for miscellaneous and school, or it can just sit in the general fund that might go towards rent or some other unexpected thing like the car insurance being a little bit different. So that's how my August went. I did go a little bit over what I estimated in some categories, and then I was a little bit under in what I wanted to save for the car replacement fund as a result, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll probably just try to cut costs on the used vehicle. Well, that's all for August. Come back and check out September when that's posted real soon. Thanks for watching.